Okay, I think the best way to probably do most of my lessons will be with Google Slides. It solves a lot of problems. It gives me a big white space to work my problems, and it also does a closed caption feature, which helps satisfy some of the requirements for web content produced by schools. So to begin with, I'm just going to start with here's one I already made, but I'll start from scratch here. So slides.new, and instead of using a title slide, I'm going to just insert a blank slide. And if I do hit plus a few more times, that gives me some blank slides to work with. I'll just go ahead and get rid of this guy. All right, and suppose I was going to give a lesson on solving polynomials or solving quadratics by completing the square. So the first thing I need is a problem, and I would probably put that in ahead of time. So x, and I know this should be x squared, so I can go to format, text. That gives me my superscript there. Make this a little bit bigger. And I'll just actually, okay, that should be big enough on my screen. The next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and go to present mode. And while you're in present mode, I'm going to turn on the closed captioned. And now it's putting underneath what I'm saying. This being a math lesson, it's going to read a little choppy, but all in all, I think it'll work really well. Okay, so I'm going to work this problem. I'm going to bring up my annotate tools. And they're at the top where it's got your ID and sharing business. And now to solve this, I'm going to tell the students, we're going to look at the coefficient in front of the x. It's 8, and we're going to take half of that. So that equals 4. And the magic number we're trying to figure out is what to add to both sides to make the left side factorable. So if I square this 4, it's going to give me 16. So 16 is kind of my magic number. So I'm going to add 16 to both sides. So I'm going to rewrite over here, x squared plus 8x plus 16. And if we've learned anything from algebra, we know we have to, whatever we do to one side of an equation, we must do to the other to keep things balanced. And I know I can factor the left side now into x plus 4 and x plus 4, which becomes x plus 4 quantity squared. And the right side is just going to be 26. So if I take the square root of both sides, x plus 4 equals plus or minus root 26. And once I subtract the 4 from both sides, run out of some real estate here, my final answer is going to be negative 4, because when I subtract this over, it becomes negative, plus or minus root 26. So there you have a demonstration on how to do an example of solving a quadratic with completing the square. But the nicest thing is the closed captioning is just automatic. And you get that from using slides as your primary window for your Zoom meeting. The other nice advantage of slides, it gives you a nice big white space to work the problems. The annotate features are pretty nice. And if I go to the document here, I can slide to my next slide. Now, one thing to know, it did not keep all the writing, because that's kind of a, think of that on it's a layer higher up than the the Google Slide file. So it's not going to save that like a Smart Notebook page would. But luckily, all of that is documented in our video.